All right, so this exercise is the clam shell. It's meant to target both the glute medius as well as the deep hip rotators that can help stabilize your pelvis in movements like split squats, step ups, and lunges. So join me on the mat. You're going to support your head either on your pillow, a pillow, or on your arm. And you want to set up so that your ear, your shoulder, and your hips are aligned, okay? Hips stacked, shoulders stacked. The next thing I want you to think about is subtly lifting your rib cage so that it's not dropped into the ground. You want to activate those abs a little bit, okay? So from this start position, then you're going to position your knees and hips. The way I want you to think about this is your hips should be, your ankles should be aligned with the hip, and your knees should be in front of the body. The hip angle is about 60 degrees of hip flexion. So if this is 0 and this is 90, you want to go to 60. So that's the position that is going to target the muscles of the back pocket, which I describe it that way because it's, if you were to slide your hand into your back pocket, it would be the muscles under your fingers. So I want you to go ahead and place your hand on your hip, and your thumb is going to sit on the front side of that hip on a muscle called the TFL, the tensor fasciae latae, which is a hip flexor muscle. For many people, this muscle is overactive and trying to do the work of the glute medius. We want to be mindful of whether or not that front muscle is taking over this movement for the back muscle. So this is how awareness is achieved through the hand on the hip. What you want to do now is slightly raise and lower the upper knee. Notice that the range of motion is not that big, because if I go too high or too far, I start to rotate through my pelvis and back. That's not the idea. Everything is still. The only thing moving is my femur, and I'm thinking about lifting and lowering that knee. What my hand feels is quiet under the thumb, no tension, no sudden pull or activation of that muscle. All of the contraction or firmness or activation you might feel is underneath your four fingers as you raise and lower your knee. And you can do 10 reps, you can do 12 reps, and switch sides, doing up to 3 sets. Remember that 1 set is better than 0. 3 sets might be better than 1 if you really want to bring up the strength of a lagging muscle group. The last thing I'm going to point out is that for some people, these things are not enough to really help center the work in that area of the back of the hip. So I will suggest that they drive the upper ankle into the lower ankle. So pushing down as you do this movement often accentuates the activation in the posterior hip. So if you feel it there, you're on track. And if you don't, ask me for a different glute medius exercise.